Right, welcome Year 9 to this video, which is just going to guide you into the early stages of the HTML, CSS and JavaScript unit. This is really guiding you through task 1. And we're going to show you how to sign up for an account on GitHub and then use this account to sign into Code Sandbox, and a little bit of a tour of the site, including using our template. From task 2, you'll be using the information in our HTML and CSS help, which is a separate web page you'll be provided with. Now, you've already been asked to sign into GitHub through a homework task, and because both GitHub and Code Sandbox are a little bit shaky about having accesses from multiple students at the same time in school, we're generally trying to get these sign-ups done outside of school. It's critically important to use your school email address when you sign into GitHub. That's because when you use that account to sign into Code Sandbox, it will send you an authorization email, providing you with a 6-digit code to complete your sign-in on each machine. And of course, using your school email address means that you can receive that email. And the username can be anything you want, but obviously it must be unique. And when you press continue, you'll need to go to your email and confirm that your email address actually exists. So assuming you've signed up to a GitHub account, you can now use Code Sandbox. So pop to codesandbox.io and click sign in. Because you've got a GitHub account, you can now use the big green sign in with GitHub button. Put your email address and your password in and click sign in. Now, if you haven't signed in on that computer before, you'll be prompted for a 6-digit code which you need to fetch from your email. So do that first, and then you'll arrive at this home screen. Now, this is the dashboard. You can get rid of this little message here at the very top, and it will show you your recent documents. And you can get back to here using recent on the left, or if you've gone somewhere else on the site, you can go to your user profile on the top right and select dashboard. Now, at this point when you're signed in, you can click on the link provided in task 1. And this will open for you a copy of my Year 9 template, which looks like this. You'll see a file area on the left-hand side, and this shows you that we're currently looking at a page called index.html. And this website also has a second page called page 2. And if I click on page 2, you can see that opens in a separate little tab, and it's an almost identical page except with second page. And you can flip between the two pages by clicking the tabs. There's also another important file here called styles.css, which I'd recommend you load as well. And you can do that by double clicking. Now, because this website is actually contained in my folders, I can edit this file. You won't be able to. So you'll want to start by making your own copy, which uses this button over on the right-hand side called fork. This will make a complete copy of the website, all of the files in your own area, and you should now be able to edit the page like this. So you'll see this code area in the center. This is the code for the website called HTML code. And over on the right-hand side, you can see a fairly primitive browser. This allows you to see your website being previewed as you type. Just above the preview area, you'll see this little web address. And this web address can be copied, and you can open a fresh tab in your browser and paste the web address in. And that will give you a full screen preview of your web page. Now you'll see down on the web page, there is a link to page 2. You'll see that this link has an href, which is a hypertext reference. This tells the computer where we're going to go if we click on the text. This can be simply a file name of a local file. You'll see page2.html is in the same folder, or it can be an entire website. So if I copy this link and paste another copy directly underneath, you'll see I've now got a second copy of that link. I can use this bit of code called a tag, a break tag, paste that in after the first link, and you see that puts a new line or a line break before the second link. I can change the second piece of text to say where we're going, like this, and I can copy a full web address from a browser and change this hypertext reference to that web address, and that will mean this second link now goes to the BBC News page, although it doesn't do it if you use their little mini browser. However, if I go to my full browser tab, refresh the page, and then click on the link, it takes me to the correct page. You're now ready to follow task 2, and that will give you little snippets of code that you can try out. For example, this little snippet of code to add an image. And so if I paste that code in, an error immediately appears because there is no picture.jpg in this list of files. However, there is a file called 8A football. So if I change the source to a picture that has been uploaded to this file area, the picture will appear. Notice this picture is a little bit long and thin, and that's because we specified a height of 300 and a width of 250. If I remove the height descriptor, then the width will be set to 250 pixels and the height will be automatically set. You can do the opposite. You can remove the width, and that means the picture will appear the right shape. So generally with pictures, it's a good idea to specify the height or the width, whichever one is the most important. But of course, if you want to include your own picture, you've got to either find the web address of a picture and include that as the source, or you've got to upload the picture to your site. So simply right-click on the file area and select Upload. You can select the file, and if you wish to rename it, you can do that. Now, just like most of these web tools, you should find that everything gets saved as you go along, but there is a little additional save menu. If you press the little hamburger menu here, File and Save, that will save the content of the current file you're editing. So if you're concerned at any point, try that option. So good luck, happy experimenting, and remember, if something goes wrong, you can always press the undo button and get back to where you were a few seconds ago.